First sector, pushing flat out. I love this first sector. It's probably one of my favorite part of this track.
I'm basically building out sort of the scaffolding, the framework that will take your data and then build it into the application that I'm putting together. I mean, this is 8 minutes of work, right? So
but that's so impressive.
Well, welcome everyone to Austin and welcome to Charles Leclerc. How are you doing?
Very good, thank you.
Great, thank you so much for joining us. We're here to talk about Pallantier and Scuderia Ferrari, partners in ultimate performance. What does ultimate performance mean to you?
Everything is about ultimate performance in Formula One and about how fast you are on track, and at the end it's all down to how quickly you make the decisions.
That's the difference between winning and losing, right? So for you out on track with the team behind you, with all that communication, how does that all come together for you? Like, what does that mean to kind of make the right decision at the right time?
I mean, it's a huge part of our job. The race is from 55 to 70 laps, but at the end, the critical parts in a race are very few. And if you do the wrong decision or with the wrong timings, as you said, it's the difference between winning a race and losing a race.
We're going to kind of put that to the test today. We're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to showcase that speed and what that means in terms of performance in sort of both of our respective fields. We want to have you running a session on the sim, going around the track. I'm going to be over here on the laptop, building out a workflow that's actually going to build on top of the telemetry that you generate during your session. We're going to have 5 laps on the sim, and then we'll go ahead and review and have a look at how it will come together. Everyone's recording? Okay, right. Charles, you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, go. I'm going to start out by building out the geometric track within my ontology so we can actually map your telemetry to that track once I get it. This is going to be pretty critical later because that's going to allow me to actually start mapping events and other sensors, telemetry, all to that same track.
So do you have all the live data at the moment?
I'm going to have the live data when you're done. I'm basically building out the scaffolding, the framework that will take your data and then build it into the application that I'm putting together.
Oh, I like this.
I've gone ahead and actually built out the track in the platform, so now I've got a view of the line around the track. I've got the various sectors, the corners, all mapped within that ontology, breaking out the different sensors from that telemetry. So we're actually going to have our brake pressure, our velocity, our G-forces, and of course the location of the car around the track. And that's going to allow us to basically show this trending over time. The next step is actually to build out the structure of how we're going to take telemetry from the sim and start mapping it to the track and also into logic. So I've got the visualization of the track, I've got the pipeline for your telemetry. I'm going to get deep into writing some logic. We're actually going to build logic in 2 parts here. We're going to have some logic that's basically going to look at the telemetry itself and actually review, okay, what is the change lap to lap? And then we're also going to do a visual analysis as well to basically get a sense of your line across each of those laps. So there's probably going to be some variations. Do you often vary the line between laps, or is it pretty consistent?
No, I do vary actually, and I try different things. So this is going to be super interesting to see the analysis. That's a good lap.
That's the one.
That's the lap to analyze.
What are the areas of improvement we've seen so far? Like where
braking probably is the phase of the corner that I want to improve the most.
So we're in lap 3, which means I need to hurry up through my logic that's going to basically generate the insights from this session. The next stage is actually to then basically build that output of the logic into the ontology, build an application on top. Is this something you would typically do after a session, right? Like go back into the pit, look at the data, work out areas?
All the time. That's basically all I do during a race weekend. It's drive, the car register all the data, and then I analyze the data as quickly as possible when I get out of the car, because it's super important because we have very little time available.
Yeah, 100%.
So we've got to be on it. But I'm looking forward to this analysis that I'll have.
You are on lap 4. I need to hurry through deploying some of this logic. Okay, so logic is now applied to my ontology. I'm going to use that as a set of building blocks with which to actually build an application. So you can actually review what I've done within the platform.
Last 2 corners.
Last few seconds, it's time to deploy my first application. This is taking everything I've built so far, the structure for the telemetry, the pipelining, the geometry of the track, the logic I've built on top of that ontology, all built into an application you can actually use to drive decisions.
That's the last lap. It's money time now.
And how are we looking? Final corner. Okay, app deployed, and done. We're there. Well, just in time, I've gone ahead and deployed, so I think we're good to do some review. A few different steps to this. So we started off by building out pipeline for your data. So basically, this is the pipeline that's going to take the telemetry from your session and actually start translating it into the format where we can actually build what we call a time series, basically like a trace of the data over time, but it's all built into an ontology. So it's like a digital twin of you, the car, the session as a whole. That all means we can actually start mapping that together and actually generating insights at different parts of the lap, right? So, I mean, is this kind of similar? How would you guys look at data when you're coming off the track?
Exactly like that. So we will zoom into this telemetry and take the conclusions ourselves.
But this is the joy of it. So you talked about taking conclusions yourself. Rather than just kind of sitting here and looking at all of this, what I actually wanted to do is build some logic on top of this so we can basically automatically derive some insights from it, right?
And have the conclusion straight away.
The end result is something like this. We've now got these notes on the left. So I can actually click in and I can kind of dive into, okay, which corner did this occur at? And you're gonna get some insights on different areas you can improve, right? So you've got things like braking consistency, exit optimization, even like some mid-sector gear change advice.
I'll go with turn one. Turn one braking consistency. I was speaking a lot about braking. During the session, there was noticeable variability in braking points for turn one. On laps 2 and 4, braking was slightly later compared to other laps, resulting in a wider entry and compromised exit speed. For the next session, aim to establish a consistent braking marker to maintain optimal entry and exit speeds. Consider using the 100-meter board as a reference point. Awesome. That is very, very impressive because that's exactly the conclusion I had while I was driving, in the way that I was very inconsistent with my braking. So this makes perfect sense.
I mean, this is 8 minutes of work, right? So
but that's so impressive. So when I get out of the car, I have a particular feeling, and but I always try and find a double confirmation of what I felt in the car.
Does the data map to what you were feeling?
Exactly.
The next stage of this would be to actually like build on top of it, maybe allow you to give feedback, actually sort of tune the model over time. You could even start to do real-time analysis on like your radio. So if you have like real-time radio messages coming in, transcribe it, map it to that broader ontology we built, allows you basically as you come out the car, you're already going to have some insights. That's basically the
That's amazing. I love it.
We can build on top of that foundation that we built in literally the last 8 minutes or so, 5 laps worth of racing, and then we can build from there, whether it's adding audio, video analysis, other sensors, other telemetry. This is just a starting point, right? But
that's
hopefully
really
it's useful.
I mean, that's super impressive. Really, really impressive. To have those conclusions so early, it's gain time.
Well, hey, maybe some of this will be helpful for this weekend. You never know.
This for sure.
To think about.
This for sure. I'll take that into account.
Well, Charles, 5 laps on the sim, 8 minutes of building. We were trying to show ultimate performance. What do we think? Do we think we did it?
I think we did. And it was super, super impressive to see that in only like 8 minutes, you got to conclusions so quickly, and those conclusions were right and were matching my feelings while I was driving. To have all these different factors inside this system, and the system being able to take all of that into account and come to conclusions so quickly will be a game changer.
Sounds like we're going to need to find more than 8 minutes in that case. We've got more work to do. Well, Charles, thank you so much for building with me. This has been great fun. Sounds like we both achieved ultimate performance today.
It was a really good teamwork, and I think more I drive, more data you have, and better it is for both of us. So
I love it. It's a winning partnership. Well, hey, maybe one time I can give you a Pallantir tutorial. You can give me a driving lesson. Sound good?
Let's do that.
Awesome. Thank you so much, mate.
Thank you. Thank you very much.